Hey, I'm Jerry Cates. Welcome to Empowered Woman Live. So today I'm doing episode 2 of a 4-part series. This is Your Word is Your Wand, the hidden spells you didn't know you're casting, right? And yes, the hidden spells you didn't know you're casting. This is today. Okay, so let me just make sure I am live. If you're here, live, go ahead and put hashtag live in the chat. And if you're here for the replay, hashtag replay. I love knowing that you got some really good information and that it made a difference. So, and give me some feedback. Okay, I see I'm live. Let me put comments in there. Casting. There I am live. All right, I'm going to try to see comments as they come up. Okay, let's see if I can do this all at once. So, the hidden spells you didn't know you're casting. Most people think the biggest damage comes from things other people say to us. But often, the most powerful spells we live under are the ones we're casting on ourselves without even realizing it. Pause and let that land. We're casting the spells on ourselves without even realizing it. So, think of a time. Well, let me just talk a little bit about saying something, casual or normal, but realize that it actually is reinforcing a limit. Like, I can never get things right, or there are anything you say, right? That's setting a limit. I can never do it right. Oh, I'm not good at that. I knew a lady who was empathic, and empaths can feel other people. And she looked at being an empath was a curse. Oh, people's energy, it's too strong on me. I can't handle it. And actually being an empath is a gift. So what kind of limiting beliefs are you playing around with? I used to say, I'm terrible with directions. It was almost a joke. Until I noticed I avoided new places, felt anxious about travel, and never trusted myself to find the way. I remember feeling that way. That one sentence became my permission slip to stay small. Okay? These aren't just words. They're tiny spells that shape what you believe you can do. Today, I'll help you spot the sneaky, everyday phrases that quietly sabotage your confidence, connection, and potential. So you can catch them before they take root and replace them with words that actually build you up. You ready for that? Okay. This talk is for you if you're ready to notice this and shift the everyday language patterns that hold you back. This talk is for you if you want to stop unintentionally reinforcing limits in your relationships, career, or self-image. I'll get a little story about self-image a little later, so stick around. This talk is for you if you're curious about connection between casual words and deep-seated beliefs. Then this talk is for you. Now, this talk is not for you. Let me say hi. Hey, Sheila. This talk is not for you if you keep using phrases that make you feel small because they feel comfortable. This talk is not for you if you're not willing to look honestly at the ways you talk to yourself. And this talk is not for you if you'd rather focus on changing others' words than your own. Okay? Okay. My first point I want to make. Everyday curses in disguise. Everyday curses in disguise. Many of our most harmful phrases sound harmless or even socially acceptable. I'm too old. I'm so bad at technology. I never have enough time. And the solution? Start a language audit by noticing and writing down the phrases you say repeatedly. Awareness is the first shift. So I had this client that was always saying, I'm terrible with money. I'm terrible with money. And her statement made her avoid financial conversations, miss opportunities, and feel powerless until she replaced it with, I'm learning to manage my money with confidence. You see the shift? Feel the shift? Yes. And why does this matter? The longer these phrases go unchallenged, the deeper they embed in your identity and daily choices. Okay? So think about the things you say. Now you can't unring the bell. So I've shined a light on the things you say that are limiting. And I want you to go, oh, that's limiting. Oh, that limits me. The first shift is to notice it. Let's talk about borrowed spells from others. The problem is many limiting phrases aren't even ours. They're inherited from our parents, teachers, culture, or partners. Money doesn't grow on trees. Ever heard that one? Or don't get your hopes up. I heard that one. And people always leave. What's the solution? Trace these phrases back to their source. Ask, is this actually my belief, or did I absorb it? Then consciously choose whether to keep it or replace it. So I'm going to be really candid. I'm going to share a little story. I heard a story about something that was said to me. Now, I must have been 9 or 10, and we were in the water show in Richmond, California. They had water ballet, and we were little enough. Daddy was in the water shows for years. He was part of the diving club, the scuba diving club, and they supported the Richmond plunge. So all the guys would, and all the divers, they were all the divers, they would be in the show, and we'd be up in the balcony, and we'd see our daddy, and hi, Daddy, that's my daddy. Well, as we grew up, he put us in the shows. Of course, we learned to swim there. And one year we were Martians on paddle boards, glowing paddle boards. And another year we were little devils with horns and red boards and all that. But one of those years, and I'm like 8 or 9, and I'm in the dressing room and I'm pulling up my suit. And my mother says to me, you have a figure like an old woman. I remember that. And that did something to me, because even when I was, all the time growing up, I was self-conscious about my body image. And I remember even when I was 18 and I weighed 129, and that was a while ago, but I weighed 129, and my self-image was, I thought I was fat. I wasn't fat. I look at pictures from that time. I wasn't fat. I didn't have a body like an old woman. But that's how powerful words of other people can be to us. So I really want to invite you to take a look at those internal dialogues that you have. Because it's not like I went out and said, oh, I have a figure like an old woman all the time. It was, I embodied it. I felt it. And I could feel it in my self-worth that my body wasn't adequate, that there was something wrong with it. So that was a spell she cast on me. And, whether she meant to or not, it carried through my life for decades. So what stories of other people are you carrying with you for decades? I just want to invite you to take a look at those stories you're telling yourself. And why does this matter? Words we didn't choose still shape our choices until we reclaim them. Until we reclaim our choices. My third joke, let's see, the disguised self-sabotage of humor and sarcasm. You know anyone who's sarcastic? How do you feel when somebody is sarcastic to you? It doesn't feel good. That's what I'm talking about. The problem is joking about our flaws or our failures can still plant seeds in the subconscious. Your nervous system doesn't know the difference between serious and sarcastic. So the solution is noticing the funny comments you make about yourself and ask, Would I want this to be true? And if not, flip it. Flip it. It's such a huge awareness. You know, we say so much without even thinking about it. Your words are your words create your world. Your word, that's what the series is about, your words, putting spells on you. And I know I use the word spell, but it really does feel like a spell. It felt like a spell when my mother told me I had a figure like an old woman. You know, I carried that. It was a spell I believed in. Okay. So notice those funny comments that you make about yourself. And like I said, what or would I want this to be true? Like, had a client who would always say, oh, I'm a hot mess. You ever hear anybody say that? Oh, I'm a hot mess. Until she realized it gave her permission to not organize, plan, or follow through. Right? I'm a hot mess. So it gave her permission to be a hot mess. So what are you putting into the universe that's creating your life for you? And maybe not for you. It's not benefiting you. Take a look at what's not benefiting you. And why does this matter? When it starts as a joke, it can be the identity you live in. Think back to your childhood. What were the jokes that were made about you? I was the black sheep of the family. So I always felt I was different. And probably my sisters felt they were different too, right? But I always felt like I didn't fit in because I was always told I was the black sheep of the family because I was different. I don't know. I'm sure there's a list of the reasons, that I was different. I looked most like my mom. I had darker skin, more olive skin, but I was the black sheep of the family. Was it about behaviors? What was it? And I bought into that. So, and I can remember my mom many times saying that as a joke. It wasn't a joke. It was damaging. So what are you saying to yourself and what are you saying to others around you, especially your children? Are you making fun of them? Bullies do that. Bullies are sarcastic. So if I get anything through to you in this series, I want it to be that you understand how important your words are. Every word that comes out of your mouth is important. Every word. Every word. Okay. So, and then how is it limiting you in your relationships or your business or with your significant other? If you're the brunt of the joke, or somebody else is. How is that lifting them up? How is that supporting them? How's it supporting you? How does it lift you up if you're putting yourself down all the time? Had a client that would say, and I remember feeling this way too, looking for a partner. Oh, there's no good men out there. And on the other side, and I might not say it out loud, but I would maybe say it in my head. It's like, oh, there's no good men out there. I just keep finding these guys that just want to take advantage of me. So having that conversation keeps me stuck in that reality. So if I shift it to my perfect partner is manifesting for me now, I attract really good quality men. And letting go of the negative. And that's self-leadership in action. When you find yourself doing something or saying something that pulls you down, recognizing it and taking yourself to the light, I like to call it. Shifting the conversation from what you don't want to experience to what you do want to experience. And if you need some help articulating that, reach out to me. That's what I help you do, is reprogram that subconscious mind so that you're living more in the vibration of what you want to create instead of defaulting back to the place of I'm not enough, or I have a figure like an old woman, or you know what I mean, whatever your story is. So I want you to, here's a little homework. I always have homework with soul work. I like to call it soul work. Get a piece of paper and write down some of those limiting beliefs about yourself. the things you say, the things you believe, and then notice where it came from. Like, you have a figure like an old woman. Oh, from my mom. Okay. And then ask yourself, is it true? Most likely it's not. And what is it do you want that you want to create? What do you want to create? Give yourself permission to have your heart's desire. To have your heart's desire. And I like to say, when you catch yourself in that negative loop, I'm really about your inner child. So your inner child, your lesser developed child is caught up in this negative loop. Let that wise adult go take her by the hand and lead her to the light. And I use that imagery with clients, you know, and that's really helpful. In that moment, seeing that wise adult go take her by the hand and take her to the light and say, I got you. And then flipping whatever that negative thing you're saying to yourself is, whatever that negative spell you're casting is, and cast a new spell. Create with your words. You're creating with your words anyway. You are. Thoughts create. Words create. Take charge of them. Take charge of them and create what you want to experience, your deepest desires. Hey, Crystal, I'm almost done. You have to go back and watch. So, if you want some help, type clarity in the chat and let's have a conversation that matters. If these kinds of things are keeping you limited and stuck, it's time to break through them. Don't go decades like I did. Don't go decades with that negative thought and that negative belief about yourself. Step into the possibilities of what you want to create. And I'm listening to myself because it is an ongoing thing. It's an ongoing practice when you notice, oh, you know, you say something negative to yourself or someone else and you notice, you know, if you pause and notice, where's that coming from? And is that what I want? Is that what I want? No. So give up the sarcasm. Go back and listen so you know what I'm talking about. Give up that sarcasm. It's not funny. It's hurting somebody. And if it's sarcastic comments you're making about yourself, it's hurting you. It's hurting you. Anyway, if this was helpful, go ahead and put a yes in the chat. Go ahead and hashtag replay if you're here. I'm about to sign off. I'll be back next week with the next episode about your words, the hidden spells you don't know. Let's see, your word is your wand. Today was the hidden spells you don't know you're casting. Let's see if I have next week's name here. I don't, so you just have to show up. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye, Shayla. Bye-bye, Crystal. Thank you.